In the years since the moderate party quietly unraveled, the moderate movement has once again reached a familiar crossroads. Tonight, we examine the recurring question, what keeps going wrong with moderatism? Good evening. 3 years after the Neomods quietly collapsed following their infamous debate in Boise, the moderate movement once again finds itself in familiar territory. Tonight we ask, what went wrong with moderatism? Why does it keep failing? And does it have any future in an increasingly combative political climate? Joining us are three voices with very different perspectives. Dr. Ruth Median, political historian, Reverend Dr. Clara Presence of the Beingist Intercommunal Existence Network, and Harold Ziemniak Jr., son of the late Harold Ziemniak and longtime moderate activist. Dr. Median, you've been critical of the movement for years. Why does moderation keep collapsing?
Thank you, Ken. The historical record is unfortunately very clear. Moderation has failed every single time it's been tried. From Miroslav Koritsky in the 1930s, to Harold Ziemniak in the 1960s, to the Neomods in the late 80s, the pattern is identical. First, moderates gain a little influence by promising calm and reason. Then, almost immediately, they begin enforcing moderation. In Polovia, that became the Reasonable Speech Act and de-radicalization centers. Even the C-averages, back in the 70s, reported each other for wearing the wrong length hair. Moderates always turn authoritarian the moment they taste power. It's not an anomaly. It's the inevitable outcome.
Building on Dr. Median's point, I would add that moderation also fails because it ultimately stands for nothing. It is not a positive philosophy. It is simply not the other guys. Look at the Temple of the Triune Bears. Brother Norman Meh began with something harmless, lukewarm tea and Goldilocks theology, and within a few years they were conducting midnight balancing raids. Even moderation becomes extreme when it has no deeper grounding. And if I may speak as someone from a faith tradition, I'm not sure moderation is compatible with Christianity at all. The Gospels call for radical love and radical forgiveness, not polite 0-0 draws and endless hedging. The moderate movement, as it currently exists, is basically dead. Again. And perhaps that is for the best.
The idea that moderation always turns authoritarian is simply unfair. In Polovia, Koritsky wasn't becoming a tyrant. He was protecting society from actual extremists on both sides. The fact that he was assassinated by one gunman from the left and one from the right actually proves his point. As for my father and the so-called reasonable generation, they collapsed not because the philosophy was flawed, but because the public wasn't ready for adults in the room. My father's caution was entirely justified, and doggone it, moderation does stand for something. It stands for lowering the temperature when everyone else is turning up the heat. Yes, mistakes have been made, movements have collapsed, but the moderate movement is not dead. It is simply resting.
Fascinating perspectives from all sides. Perhaps, as is so often the case, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Thank you for joining us. This has been a special report. We'll be right back.